which is the normalization of results. So again, the goal here is to identify kind of storytelling where I've got Robert, a judge, who maybe on average on a 30-point scale never gives higher than a 22. So if you got a 22, that's actually tremendous. But you got Barbara over here who is constantly giving out scores of 28s. So using a traditional judging methods, anybody who's being scored by the more strict judge, quite frankly, and this is we've seen this happen, will never be selected for a scholarship or for an award or for a grant. And that can't happen. That's extremely problematic. So how do we address that? We actually will give you what I call a normalization report and reviewer. And the way that this works, and I'm not going to get too deep into the weeds, I want to make sure we touch on the last two topics as well, is we're going to show you a listing of every single applicant that got evaluated. We're going to show you on a per judge, per question basis how they scored. What you really care about, and again, this is the trend that's been emerging lately, is this little green section. So we're going to take each individual judge and we're going to give you their averages. So I can see that Judge Judy on average scores about a 24. Off to the left, I've got Tony, who on average scores a 34. So again, that's a 10-point discrepancy. Anybody that Tony scores will always be ranked higher than anybody that Judge Judy scores. So what do we do now? Well, now that we know this, we can change the results. So now, instead of getting a score of a 24 from Judge Judy, that's now a 1 because that's Judge Judy's average, right? So now you get a 1. Anything that Judge Judy scores higher than 24 is now going to be like a 1.1. Anything lower than that's going to be like a 0.92. I'm making up some numbers here. So we can take these new centered scores, and here's what your new results look like. You got Bruce Banner here, who is our number one ranked candidate with a score of a 1.15, which means that Bruce, on average, amongst all of the judges, scored 1.15 times higher than average, whereas Elon here scored a 0.83, almost 2/10 of a point lower than average. So really powerful things to identify trends as well as actually use it to make informed decisions. Many of our clients are combining this with that dashboard that I showed you to make kind of their own results and deliberate about the results themselves.